Hello, everybody. Welcome to another um, live streaming, I should say, interview with, we have Faraaz, right? I hope
Yes,
I'm saying your name correctly. I'm very
you did.
excited to be interviewing you. Um, as I've said before, KVFF, we like to celebrate filmmakers from around the world. And Faraz actually entered our film festival and actually made it to the showcase level. And then we're up to the next part of the competition, right? But
Yes,
let's just chat a little bit before we get into your project. Why don't you tell us where you are tuning in from and a little bit about yourself?
sure. So I'm actually based in Sydney, Australia. So I completed my film school locally here in Sydney Film School, and just starting out as a filmmaker. Directed a short doco at film school, and now the film A Momentary Yearning, which I've submitted to Kismet Virtual Film Festival. That's my first narrative short film, and so yeah, just starting out as a filmmaker, writer, director, and yeah, very excited that it was selected at Kismet and to have this opportunity to put your film out there and have this kind of selection and recognition. It does a lot for your confidence, because when you're starting out and you make stuff, you hope it's good, but you don't know how it is, and your friends tell you it's good, but they're your friends, so you kind of need that audience. You kind of need that recognition to just know where you stand.
Mhm. Well, it's a very difficult industry because a lot of it is subjective when watching films. And I've been in the industry for 25 plus years, doing my own side stuff and also working in the industry, and it's tough. And one of the reasons why I started this film festival is to celebrate up and coming filmmakers, because I don't think you know you just don't get enough recognition and the support like to nurture your filmmaking. And so I'm very excited about your film because of some of the styles and that you have that you're inspired by, and the filmmakers that you're inspired by. um, can you talk a little bit about that and how you brought that out in your how you used that in your film?
Yeah, so when making this film, when you're starting out, you have um, limited resources, right? So you kind of have to you work within limitations. You're trying to figure out what to do within that. And what I what I realized, what I decided to do was that I had observed that the great films or the great filmmakers that I love, there are a lot of them. There's Richard Linklater, there's Coppola, there's a wide range of filmmakers, Michael Mann, and they, of course, they have a lot more resources, but they also do the simple things really good, like conversation between two people. And pretty much every film ultimately comes down to two people talking, and how you make that interesting and how you engage with an audience with that. And so I when starting out, I decided, okay, look, I might not have a lot of stuff available to me, but what if I try to make this really good, like this one thing anyone can do, which is you set up two people talking to each other, and then we go from there. So I started with that structure, that I'll have two people talking to each other, and then came, who are these two people? What are what brings them here? Why are they talking? So then you start expanding from there, and that's when I came up with the structure of the film, that I'll have these two people meet at two different points in their lives, and then build a story around that. So yeah, that was what we went with.
Well, I personally think that you did that very well, and it was amazing how natural the scenes felt with just the two actors having like a normal conversation. I mean, as far as, did you direct this as well?
Yes,
Yes.
I did.
So how did you make that happen so it didn't seem contrived, and I mean that it felt natural? Was this in your, part of it in your casting or directing or both? Can you give us some insights into that?
Yeah, so I have to give credit to the actors. The casting, like, we went through a casting process. We went through, rehearsals, and I found I found both of them through, an audition process, Mathilde and Lachlan. And both of them, like, we did a couple of rehearsals with them, and they picked up really fast. They were very receptive to any instruction. They were very much invested in the characters. They like they were very the certain when we're doing the rehearsal process. What I realized is that you can tell pretty much straight away when there are others who do the lines as if they have to, whereas when you have an actor who really wants to get the character, wants to understand the character, they ask you questions about the character, then you know that they're more engaged, and it shows on screen. So we did rehearsals. Both of them were very prepared when they came on set, and it was easy directing them because they're already very talented. They're already engaged and committed to their roles. They brought a lot of their own into their roles to make it interesting. So yeah, overall, it's a collaborative effort, which makes me look good in the end. But yeah, their acting, their commitment, and dedication has to be pointed out.
Well, that speaks volumes to the importance of having professional actors, on your film. And like one of the things that they say is don't bring your friends on, go
Yeah,
for the best that you can get.
yeah,
So I think that you did that really well. Now, I don't have queued up um, a scene, one of the scenes with them talking, but I am going to go ahead and show just the first part of your film,
sure.
which I think that everybody should look at the. I think that the photography and the cinematography, the angles chosen, all that were really great. So give me a second while I pull this up on the screen, and I'm going to hide you and me for a minute
Sure.
so we can get this up. Um, all right, so we're back. So that was just the first minute of the film. For me, um, just with the visuals, I think it really pulled me into the story, and I really like that. Do you want to share with how you chose to open your film and why you chose the shots and the angles that you did?
Sure. Yeah. So we mainly, wanted to use. So we had this thing about the character, coming back to this city. So we wanted to have that feel that there's a character is coming back, but so we wanted to have it that the character is coming back, not that he's coming to a new city. So we wanted to get that feel where he arrives, he walks as if like he kind of knows this terrain, but he hasn't been here in a while, and he's just looking around and trying to observe, the changes that might have taken place while he wasn't there. In terms of so we chose a location, one of the local subway underground stations, walking in, and all of that, and then he walks out into the city. So with that, we kind of wanted to give it a feel, because it was also an introduction. We wanted to kind of slowly create a sense of mystery for the audience, where you kind of okay, who is this person? So one of my inspirations was the film Collateral with Michael Mann. It's a very different genre, but I like that the opening of that film, where he introduces a character coming in, and we don't know who that person is, but we slowly observe him from the back, and he's coming into an airport, and he's also arrived in the city. So we tried to have it framed from the back first, and then slowly get a few glimpses from the sides, and then finally once he's out in the city, we see him properly front on.
Mm-hmm. That was very well done. I like that. Okay, so what was your most challenging part of making this film for you?
Yeah, so the challenging part, I have to say, like when I look back now, like it feels like we kind of overcame that, but at that time it really was very difficult. So what happened was, so because we have two different timelines in the film, to separate it, we had the actor, male actor Lachlan, grew a beard for the current timeline, and then the plan was that he would have it shaved and look different when he's younger. So we had him grow a beard for about 4 weeks, and then we were meant to do the later part of the script before, and then we were gonna do the past, the before he leaves, that timeline later, and we had a set booked for that, where we built a set for the room, the interior scenes. Now, so we had a 3-day shoot, so we would do the exteriors the first 2 days, and then we would do the interior on the third day, where he would shave off his beard and he would play a younger character. Now, what happened was, the first 2 days got completely rained out.
Oh.
So now we couldn't do any of the exteriors, but now we have to do the interior, because we built a set there for the room, and we only have it for 1 day. So we have to dismantle the set by the end of that day. And so I can't push that day, because we booked that set in advance. We won't get that set again. So we had to, so we have to do the interior first now, which is a different timeline. But then so that means he has to shave off his beard, which he was growing for the last 4 weeks. And then we were like, okay, now we have to, we did the interior, but now we're like, okay, so now it's not raining anymore, but we can't really do the exterior straight away, because we kind of need him to grow the beard. So we had to wait again, for a couple of weeks which is not very easy, because you kind of book people's dates in advance. So that was arranging that is a bit of a logistical nightmare. But we had to do that, and then we got 2 weeks, and he grew a little bit of a beard, not as good as we would have liked, but we had to go with it. Back then, when we were going through it, that 2 to 3 week period, it really, like, there were times when I was like, oh my God, like, will I be able to get this film made? Because you had so many, logistical issues before. So it's like finally when it rains and you're like, the whole thing is kind of, against you, and you're kind of battling all these different, things to just get a short film made. So, but yeah, it happens.
So the challenges of being a filmmaker.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think the important lesson is that in this is that you don't give up, and you have to be really flexible. And then it's, crisis management. What do? You've got to be able to come up with a plan, be flexible, switch it around, and hopefully it works and you see it through to the end. And
that's true. Yeah.
And then you've got to film. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things of being successful is you've got to have that first, because if somebody gives up, then you've got nothing, right?
That's true. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, good for you. But yeah, I'd be like, rah!
Yeah. Well, that's why there's a funny story about, like, funny quote from a French director, Truffaut, where he said that when a filmmaker starts a film, he has all these, grand visions, ambitions of what he wants to do, and by the time he's about to film, like, he'll be happy to just finish the film, get out of there alive. Just, so many things that wears him down. So,
yeah.
That's pretty much.
I don't know how, I think when we have that vision in our head and what we see, like our internal or our vision of how this is going to look on the screen, I think it's very rare that it ends up exactly that way. Maybe it does for some, but I think it changes. For me in my process, sometimes I let go, and then you have mistakes, which turn out to be happy mistakes that end up making things, just better in the film.
Yeah.
So,
true.
Let's see. So, what is your goal for filmmaking? I mean, this was your first narrative, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I encourage you to keep going, and that's what I think, because I just see so much potential in your film and your filmmaking. So, but that's me. I'm asking you what your goal is.
Sure. No, thanks. Thank you. That's incredibly kind of you. It's yeah. So that's definitely the goal, is to keep making films. So I'm currently writing my next film, next short film. So it's more like a spy thriller, sort of atmospheric thriller, and hopefully get that completed over the next couple of months, and have that go into festivals from next year. So yeah, the idea is to keep making short films, learn, while you're there, become a better filmmaker while you're doing these things, and establish yourself, as a someone who makes good films, and gets recognized. And so yeah, that's pretty much the goal. And I have, like, pretty much, I love films. I love all different kinds of genres. So I really want to make all these different genres. Thriller, drama, action, sci-fi. So those are all the things on the pipeline, hopefully.
There's a lot to explore. So you brought up different genres, and you like different things. Are you into, like, a current genre right now? What are you watching? What type of movies have you been watching, or television series?
Yeah, so I just recently watched Tenet, which has been out in the theaters. I mean, in Australia, we've had slightly, like in Sydney at least, it's the COVID situation isn't as bad, so the cinemas have been open for a while, but I still waited about 3 weeks because I thought that the film is going to be packed, so I kind of waited for a couple of weeks before I watched it. So I just recently watched it. Christopher Nolan is, great inspiration for all filmmakers. So yeah, I loved it. Great film. And with TV, I'm watching this. It's a show that it comes on FX in America. It's called Atlanta, and it's a really like very different type of series, scripted television, but it's very engaging, I find. So that's been what I've been watching recently.
Cool. We're not as fortunate as you here in New Mexico. So I'm in New Mexico, and our governor is rolling with an iron fist, and we are still probably like my number's probably off 90% shut down, but we can't go to the movies because she has not opened the theater yet. Which is crazy, but anyway.
Yeah.
So anything that I'm watching is on television, and a friend of mine recommended this series. I had not heard of it, but it's called Messiah, and I just finished watching the first episode, and I was like, wow, I didn't think I was gonna like it that much, but the acting and and how they keep you guessing, because usually, when you studied film or you've been in film, you pretty much know what's going to happen within the first 5 minutes, right?
Sure, yeah.
I just I can guess a little bit here and there, but they kept me on my toes, but there's a lot of controversy about this particular series that they're not going to. Netflix is not going to extend and offer like a second season, which is, I find, very sad, because I think it's really well done. And but supposedly there were a lot of people who didn't like it because of the religious care. I mean, I don't know. There was evidently a petition. Then others say no, it's just that it didn't get a lot of viewers. But anyway, it'd be interesting. I hope anybody out there listening to this watches that if you have Netflix, and I'd love to hear feedback. I think it's a great talking point for television series. So that's what I've been pretty much watching. But then the rest of my time is spent working on the festival right now, and I love doing these interviews and things like that. So I think this is a perfect time to bring in a little. We're going to plug the festival and shamelessly plug our merchandise. So
absolutely.
We have coffee cups. We have got more than coffee cups, and actually, this is my coffee cup right here. If I can do that.
Wow.
So the big 15 ounces. That put a lot of coffee in there. We have T-shirts. We have baseball caps, which I'm not wearing today. Lots of different T-shirts. We have 3 different size tote bags. I had no idea how huge the large one was, but you can carry film equipment in there. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, and I just want to add with the coffee cup. If you're a writer or a director or an editor, you want that coffee cup because you're gonna need it.
Coffee cup.
Yeah.
And especially how big it is,
Yeah, exactly. That's why you're going to need it.
And then we have these pouches in 3 different sizes. I always think about putting headphones or, some microphones maybe in here.
Yes, absolutely.
And then if you're thirsty on set or anytime, we've got some stainless steel water.
That's very handy on set. That's very handy on set.
Wow. So you can refill your water instead of using bottles, and it's got a carabiner, just so you can, attach it to something.
Yes.
Anyway, so if anybody's watching this, all the proceeds that we earn off of any of the merchandise that we sell goes to our winning filmmakers. It's been, this is our first year. And we started up right when everything was shutting down, so it was very difficult to get sponsorship. And so if you're in need of a t-shirt, who doesn't need a new t-shirt, right? Or a big coffee mug, or lots of other things. You can just go to our Etsy shop, and the link is in the comment section. So if anybody's out there, we'll do one more. Should we do one more promotional thing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this is even more important. And that is that we have the KVFF showcase, and I'm going to switch the screen around a little bit. So this is where you can go see Faraaz's film, along with, I think we have 35 others, so a total of 36 films in our film festival, which is very exciting. With the selection process was difficult, but I mean, considering the times in our first year, I'm super excited about the showcase. So again, even with our tickets, they're only $10, and all proceeds are going to the filmmakers. This is how we were raising money, and because it's all basically going back to our filmmakers, which I'm very proud of them all. I'm very proud of you, Faraaz. So I'm very excited to have your film in the festival.
Look,
so please, everybody, click that link. You know, get your tickets, and it's going to be streamed online, and everybody will have an opportunity at their own leisure to go. The tickets are good for the showcase, which will be, everybody has about 2 weeks, you know, to be able to watch all the films. So we've given a really nice lengthy time for everybody too. So that's my shameless promotion for our festival. Let's get back to wait a minute, let me pull this up. I thought it was very interesting about your I'm going to move this around a little bit, sorry. Your poster, because yes, you had a lot of different posters. So is this the one that you settled on?
Yes.
This.
Yes. So this is like we tried to get. So this was the, you know, from the this interior scene which is really it comes in the middle of the film, which really kind of holds the film together, and it kind of establishes the relationship between these two people. So we wanted a moment from that scene. And really the title of the film is, you know, Momentary Yearning, where you kind of, you know, yearn for something. So we thought to have that scene and that moment from that scene, and have something that kind of represents, you know, that feeling of yearning for something. So yeah, so that's the kind of what we settled with in the end.
Yeah, I like that. And the other ones were interesting too, but I'm not going to give away all of the film besides,
sure,
you know, we talked about a little bit about what's there, but I think that this poster really represents that and gives an idea about the film. I've got one other, an actual production.
Yeah.
Still, and let me see if I can find the right setting. I don't think I'm going to make it happen. But yeah, so here's an actual production still of you guys on set.
Yes.
And do you want to talk a little bit about what you're doing here and what's going on?
Yeah, so this is we're just getting ready. So I'm just right there on the corner of this frame, and then just next to me is the actress Mathilde. And then we have Lachlan, the actor, and then we have our amazing sound guy Jacob, and he assisting him was Josiah with the boom. So yeah, we're just trying to. I think over here we're just trying to get the lapel mics connected to the actors, and then just try to get the right levels. To make sure that it's, you know, sometimes when you put the lapels, they kind of rub with the clothes and they make a noise. So I think we're just trying to get that, so to get them to test and make sure that there's no, there's no noise. It's all clean.
Mm-hmm. Which is important, right?
Yeah, yeah,
For sound. Very
yeah.
cool. It's always fun, I think, to look at production stills and
Yes.
what's going on. So, with you did you just finish this film? I mean, when
Yes. So the in terms of the post production, which includes the grading and final sound mix and all that, that was just completed earlier this year. I think around May, end of May is when we completely, like, it was just finished the final version, and then I started submitting.
Yeah, perfect timing for a film festival.
Yes.
Great. So we were talking a little bit earlier about what's up next for you, and you said you're working on a spy thriller. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
And well, I guess we can't really say more than that.
Yeah, I mean, it's still I'm still writing it. I hope to film it either late this year or early next year, and then start having a premiere at festivals next year.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully things get a bit better with COVID and all around the world. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, there's not going to be another anything as bad as what we've all been through. Oh my goodness, what's that been like for you guys in Sydney?
Yeah, look, it's I mean, we had a couple of different waves in Australia. We had a pretty big second wave in another state, in Victoria, Melbourne. And there was this concern that it was going to spread, but hopefully we managed to contain that. So yeah, it's just been I remember the last couple of months. It's just every time I would watch something on TV or a movie, and there were exteriors, and there were shot exteriors. I would have this strange feeling that, oh my God, we haven't done that in a very long time. Like, we've all been just stuck inside for so long. It's just having going outdoors and just enjoying the moment, and sitting at an outdoor cafe and with friends, and I mean, even little things like that you kind of start missing. And so yeah, that's been the case and I feel it's one of those rare things where the whole world sort of experiencing this at the same time. And so yeah, I mean, he's hoping that the next year it's better for the whole world in terms of the pandemic, and we're able to come out of it.
Definitely. Wow. I mean, it's been a crazy ride, right, for that.
Yeah.
So, well, let's get back to film.
Sure.
When you're not making movies or writing, your next film, what do you do? What do you like to do?
Yeah. So, look, when the shooting of this film had ended, what I did was I was like, okay, I'm just gonna next couple of weeks, I'm just gonna watch a bunch of stuff, because I just want to get out of, because when you're the filming process and just everything else that you're trying to arrange, the logistical stuff of locations and timing, all that, like it's so draining that sometimes when you get that done, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna sit and enjoy somebody else's film where I know they have had to do all of that. So I'm gonna sit and be an audience member and just enjoy it. So yeah, I try to watch films and TV, and attend local festivals, just to be connected with the local filmmaking community, see what others are doing.
What is?
And
oops, our getting a little bit of lag here. I meant to ask you, what is your local filmmaking community like in Sydney?
Yeah, so it's a very vibrant community. There's a lot of different kind of filmmakers from very diverse background. They're very supportive, like and the more and that's part of the reason I go to these local festivals, because it gives you an opportunity to meet a lot of different people and get to know. And you're always discovering new people there. And so yeah, that's pretty much the scenario in Sydney and greater Sydney area. And it's amazing how many people are, coming into this field, and they just want to make films. They have very different stories to tell. And so yeah, it's good to be connected. It makes you feel part of the community. And yeah, so and we all try to watch each other's films and support each other.
Support each other. That's nice. It's great that you have that supportive community, which I think is very important.
Yes. Yes,
Everybody come together and help each other and support each other.
That's true. Yes.
Instead of like,
Yeah.
So that's great. So we talked about a couple of tips. You gave some really good tips. Is there any other tips? I know we're jumping back, to this, but I think that what you were just talking about is important, not to speak for you, but because you can expand on this, but I think it's really important to be involved with your film community and to support each other and help each other any way that you can. What else would you say is important, and how to cultivate, your filmmaking and style and career?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's as a general advice, I would say that it's important to know why you want to be in this, why you want to make films, because at every step, of your process, of your journey, you're gonna face series of different hurdles and obstacles that will make you, that will make you question your what you're doing and motivate. So if your grounding in why you're doing this is not strong, then it is going to be difficult. So you kind of need to be clear in your head that this is what you want to do. And I feel like the filmmaking process, it's a very difficult process. It's very difficult to get into, but it's also something that kind of it works as a filtering process, because it's so difficult, that the people who kind of make it through that and is pretty much ones who just really want to make their film. They're just so passionate about it. They're so hardworking and committed that they can't imagine anything else. And that's sort of what you kind of need. So the process itself will, help you uncover whether you really want to do this or not. And so yeah, it's important to be clear in your head, strong, have strong reasons and passion for why you're doing this. And then you'll be able to, overcome all these hurdles, because when you face them, then you'll be like, you know what, I'm still going to overcome it, because this is what I want to do for myself.
Mm-hmm. That's really good advice, because there's like the only thing that's constant is change, and even the most, and this is why we plan so much when we go out and film, because we know there are going to be problems somewhere.
That's true.
And I think it helps just mitigate, the process. And so when things do start blowing up, you're better able to, figure out how you're going to get around that, solve the problems, get over the obstacle, and get to the finish line, right?
Yes, that's true.
So, that's great. Wow, this has been a really good interview. I've really enjoyed talking with you.
Yeah,
And
same. And I just wanted to say, like, thank you so much for, the kind of festival that you've built for, emerging filmmakers and independent filmmakers, and highlighting their work, and just doing all this to promote their work, because it is difficult, when you're starting out. And if you go into the festival scene, you've got all these festivals that are aimed for really established filmmakers, and you're kind of working with the bare minimum. So it's kind of hard for you to put your film out there against films that are made at completely different scale.
yeah,
So it's this is why a film festival like Kismet is so it's so important for emerging filmmakers. So thank you so much for doing what you do, and it's a great. I mean, it helps. It allows us to exist.
yes.
So yeah,
Oh, you're welcome. I'm excited about it because, I know that hole, that you either have to have, because even at these other independent film festivals that have gotten so big, they're not really independent. I mean, they have
that's
such
true.
huge budgets and everything. But anyway, it's my pleasure because there's so many great filmmakers out there and stories, and they just need a platform, And that is kind of like the mission, of Kismet Virtual Film Festival. So we're
Sure.
really happy to have you. Um, is there anything else that you'd like to say to anybody, or something I should have asked you but I didn't? Um,
Uh, no,
yeah.
I mean you pretty much asked me and covered pretty much everything about the film. So yeah, just want to thank you and thank everyone for watching. And yeah, please buy the ticket, and it's only $10, and buy the ticket and watch the um, my film, and I'm sure all the other amazing films that are going to
Yeah.
be screened. And so yeah, watch these short films. Sometimes short films is where you find some of the most moving stories. So
Yeah.
yeah, do watch them.
Something fresh and different.
Yes.
So, yeah, this is great. Thank you. So, listen, hang on. We're going to go ahead and we'll say goodbye to everybody, and let's just chat for a minute or two. So, don't go anywhere. Okay.
Sure.
All right, awesome. Okay, bye everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I
Bye.
hope you've enjoyed this interview and learned a few things, and definitely hope to see you at our showcase. So, all right, see ya.